One client, and I couldn't get her to go out. She really wasn't that ill, but she would not go out. And one day I said to her, why don't you make yourself come to the center? You'll meet people and they're in the same plight as you are. They live alone, and you'll make friends. Well, prior to this, every time I asked her, she said she wanted to die. She had nothing to live to, and she wished she'd die. Well, when I said to her, why don't you come over and meet the friend? She said, what? Cross Brighton Beach Avenue? I might get killed.
JASA serves people anywhere from 60 years of age to over 100. For each individual, there's an understanding that we will attempt to enrich their lives. So for some people, we literally sustain them in their homes and in their community. And it's a life enrichment. But for other people, it might be intellectual stimulation, it might be some venue in which they can fulfill a lifelong interest. But there's a recognition that each person has potential, and each person in these last years, however long these last years may stretch, there needs to be this opportunity to lead a fulfilled life.
So they come out narrow.
We see beyond the old face. We see that there's someone inside who's had a life, who's had a family, who's been loved, who has loved. The person has to feel as if they're important.
And pictures, and I had a gorgeous corsage. Yesterday I attended a session here. It was called the Reminiscence Group. And she asked what was the happiest time of their lives. They've all seen it. And you know what the answer was? Now.
2 years ago, I came in here and joined the art class. I made very simple things. I never worked with clay. My work was always with wood furniture line. So there was not much to be done in furniture in here, so I did work with clay. I began work with clay, and I enjoyed it.
When someone reaches 80 or whatever, they've survived an extraordinary number of things in his or her life. You know, and there is this quality of we're all in it together. There's this reciprocal quality to the working together.
And at JASA, I participate in a great many of the programs, and I'm on the Sunshine Committee, and we call and send cards to the people that are disabled or hospitalized. But Rose, I go to a nutrition class, and they tell you to take your hot food and don't leave it out.
We use people in a lot of ways as volunteers. And meaning the older adults act as volunteers and help out in various ways, and so there's an opportunity to develop closer relationships. But by nature of their personality and their life experience, they give something back.
I call them every week, and they tell me all about their personal lives, and I could tell you what their grandchild has in the line of toys. He just got a new hobby horse, and so on and so forth. And we have a great time. And it just shows if you want to, you can. I can. All right, Rose, I'll be talking to you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye. That is one of my clients. She's homebound. When she gets a hold of me, I cannot get off the phone. But she's a very nice person, and I really don't mind it.
JASA provides many life-sustaining services that can make a tremendous difference in the lives of homebound elderly persons, such as, for example, home attendant services. In addition, JASA provides affordable housing, which is really critical in making people feel that they're living in a safe, comfortable environment. It's an opportunity to live with dignity and live among people.
The single most important thing, I think, is to have an apartment like this to come to with the security and decent place, a respectable place to just spend the rest of your life in a place like this is words can't express how I feel about a place like this. Just, see, I'm not moving any place else.
JASA also provides Meals on Wheels, a service that is so important for older adults who are ill or too infirm to leave their apartments. This is critical for those persons who are unable to be attentive to their nutritional needs, and it's also very important for those who are kosher.
I don't know how I would manage about food if I didn't have them. Because it's not only the shopping, I'm not yet physically able to bend down and get a pot out. I just make little salads and things, and the Meals on Wheels do the rest.
I live alone, and the meals mean a great deal to me because being alone and not well, and knowing that you're going to have food brought in that day, it makes you feel better that you're not abandoned.
If we didn't have the range of services that we do, which may include legal services and entitlement counseling, many people would be lost.
And would have to go into a nursing home. For people who come to senior centers, that social environment is also life-sustaining in a way. Because when you're living alone and you don't have an opportunity to be with people, you quickly deteriorate. I think what happens in JASA centers because of the staff is that there's a sense of acceptance, a sense of welcoming, a sense of this is a place you can belong. And that's a very powerful thing because most people only have their relationships that their life is about. And that's the point, that's the thing that's important. And we offer everybody that. That's what we offer older adults. The chance to be with people, the chance to have some fulfillment no matter what level they can experience it.
When you gave her song, she gave me the milk. That's the...
That's right.
Loneliness is a bad thing. And when you're alone and who are you going to cook for? For yourself? No. You would grab a sandwich and a drink and that would be your meal. You have no one to talk to when you're home alone. You look at your four walls. You might watch television or listen to the radio. But when you come here and you meet other people and socialize, and there's so many different functions that people participate in.
And then you do for a change, huh?
I think a lot of people who work with the elderly are surprised when they find them to be many-dimensional, when they find a sense of humor, when they find the person inside. And I think there's a great deal of reciprocal pleasure that goes on.
You think we should or not?
That's great, Stephen. I think it's invaluable for both groups. First of all, neither group has ever, I don't think, had the opportunity to work on a large art project, and certainly not together. We're doing this wall, which the entire community will enjoy and hopefully partake in. So I think it's a major experience for both groups.
Up until the head.
I think the young people who are much more physically able, and in some ways they're more fluid artistically, are beginning to understand what it's like to be an older person and to have a respect for that stage of life.
Boy, you're taking very good care of me.
to learn to trust someone else who you're just beginning to know. That's also very important. And that may be a microcosm of what we hope people in the neighborhood will eventually do on a larger scale.
So you mean I have to go down here inside here too?
Some people come into a senior center very reluctantly. It's old people. What do I have to be with old people for? And then they find that there are surprises in store. And they find a new resource, which is a pretty incredible thing when society around you tells you that, well, you're at the end of your life and, there's really not much left for you to do. Other people may discover new interests. What I see is a sense of pleasure, a sense of this is a place where I'm accepted, I can be who I am, I can try new things. Not only what's on the menu, but what's on schedule for today. What's going to be stimulating today.
I don't like to sound corny, but it's done an awful lot for me because I have a terrace and it lures me sometimes. I'd just like to get into a lounge chair and stay there, but it makes me come here. I have something to do, and I'm very, very happy about it. I think I get more out of it. I really do, because otherwise I might sit in a rocking chair, and be a real old woman. Now I'm only old, not real old.
As our population grows older, the needs grow greater. How these needs are met will determine the quality of life for Millie and the 47,000 other older New Yorkers JASA serves in the city and on Long Island. JASA sponsors over 2,000 units of affordable, supportive housing, but many more are needed. The demand for our kosher Meals on Wheels, home care, legal and protective services grows daily. If we are to continue to make an essential difference in the lives of the Jewish and other aged, we must strengthen our capacity to respond. Taking pride in our past, we rededicate ourselves to Millie and the thousands of older adults in our neighborhoods and promise to work to preserve their independence and dignity. We look forward to our next 25 years of service because JASA cares.